Today we're going to be learning more lessons about self-love. Today we're going to be talking about, hold on. Big Belly Bertha boosts baby's birthday cake. How long do you argue with her? That's the title of today's video. So we're going to be watching a video and we're going to be talking about the self-love lessons. Let me go ahead and get the thumbnail updated. And there's a few different comments that I want to read to you all so that we can understand. You know, we live in a world with a lot of different people in it, and we can't control other people. But who we can control is ourselves. And there are a few different things going on in society today where you all are being primed and pumped up for failure. And a lot of you are jumping into the barrel, into the abyss. Morning, 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 morning. Come on in, come on in. Today we're talking about the picture that we see on the side of the screen here. And I'm just getting the thumbnail updated and then we're going to go from there. So welcome in, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Bon dia, buen dia, buenos dias. All right, here. Perfect. There we go. All right. The text notification. Listen, the text notification is about to go out. So while we're waiting for that, let me grab a sip of water and then we're going to get live on all platforms. All right. Let us jump right into it. So the new system, it sends out the text automatically, but it takes about 4 minutes for the link to be populated, generated into the system, out to the notification squad, and then out to everybody's phones. So just give that a few moments, and then we shall jump right into all platforms. Let's get this started right now. All right, we're live on Twitch, we're live on Twitter, we're live on Facebook, we're live on LinkedIn, and of course, we are live on YouTube. All right, welcome in, everybody. Welcome. As you come in, say a quick hello. Drop your 1010s once you come in from the text notification squad. And let's go ahead and get this party started. I'm just checking my text to see if I got mine yet. Mine has not come in yet, but it will be here momentarily. But while we're waiting for that, let me just go ahead and give the intro. So I am your host, Tonya TKO. I'm a self-love specialist from TonyaTKO.com. I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we talk about the self-love lessons of these viral stories, because if we don't talk about the self-love lessons, then we get caught into a vicious cycle of dopamine hits from all of these news cycles coming in and stimulating our brains and getting us hooked on that stimulation without any lessons. Here we go. We haven't even gotten to the video and we already have to block someone. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about it. Did the text go out? Let's see. Still waiting for that text, but nonetheless, text notification squad is in the house. I wish that we had a better system. Well, the system continues to change and shift, but here we are. Nonetheless, let's talk about this story. All right. Let's jump into the video because I want you all to be able to see this, but I want the text notification squad to be in the building before we get into it. But I have to figure out what's the best way to get this done so that we're all here. Oh man, nothing is perfect. Everything has its downfall. The text still hasn't gone out. It's on its way though. It's being sent through the system. So there's two ways to do it. I do it manually or it's sent automatically, but it takes 5 minutes to go automatically. And we've been on for 5 minutes and 40 seconds, so it should have been out by now, but it'll be there. It'll be there. Don't worry. All right, so let's jump into this real quick and then, hold on, let me get Jen. All right, perfect. And let's get this here. This is not the right screen. Here we go. All right.
I ain't gonna believe this shit.
So this is the woman right here on the left-hand side. And the woman that is doing the video, she's a grandmother, but I want you to see how the situation was handled. And then we're going to go into the lessons from there, right? Because there's a lot of lessons in this video that circle back around from what it is that we were talking about yesterday. Here.
I'm talking about we had my baby's birthday cake, and somebody stole my baby's birthday cake. So I see the girl walking with a cake, and it's my fucking baby's birthday cake. So I go up to the lady and I say, "Excuse me, it's my cake." And then had the nerve to take my baby's name off her cake. Took my baby's name off her cake. That probably supposed to be for her with y'all thieving broke ass. I can't stand. Stole my baby's birthday cake. All these people right here. Look.
I want you to take a look at this woman. I want you to take a look at the woman and how she is walking in public. This is the woman with the sports bra on, some shorts, and her belly hanging down, right? I want you to just take a look at her. I want you to take a look at how she's living her life.
Got him. I guess they're just fat, just nasty.
Can you see her? Let me make the screen smaller so that you can see her in all her glory, right? So this is her. This is her right here, right? This is how she is in public. Do you think she has more to lose than you do? I mean, people ask me, how do you know when someone has less to lose than you do? Do you think this woman has more to lose than you do? Listen, look.
They tried to steal my baby's birthday cake like it wasn't sentimental. I told you I was gonna let y'all see him. Let y'all see. I can't believe it. You just can't. I didn't know people stole birthday cake and don't even say apologize. They don't say nothing. They just stole somebody's birthday cake. It's looking nasty, broken, funky. So did. Yep, that's them. Cake stealers. Happy birthday to y'all. You can't stop me from doing shit. You can't stop me from doing shit. You can't stop me from doing shit. Like I said, you ain't even have to, like I said, ho. Like I said, just know. And you stole it. You right. You sure did. You sure did. I know. I know. I know. I know. It's good. What you gonna do? Who you looking at, me?
All right. So what are we seeing in this video? Let's talk about what it is that we're seeing. And listen, most Black people in the United States come from various levels and versions of the hood. So I'm talking to my people here, right? What are we seeing in this video, right? What are we seeing? We're seeing a woman who is at some sort of adventure park, right? Another woman and some other people stole her granddaughter's birthday cake, right? Right? stole her granddaughter's birthday cake. And then so she's antagonizing them in a video. And then by the time the end of the video comes up, she's like, what you want to do, right? When I saw this video, I thought that this was a perfect example for us to talk about self-love lessons, right? Because let me show you all something. No, you know what? I'll show you all that in a moment, right? But let's watch this again so that we can see, because I want you to see the people that this woman is walking with, right?
I ain't gonna believe this shit. I'm talking about we had my baby's birthday cake, and somebody stole my baby's birthday cake. So I see the girl walking with a cake, and it's my fucking baby's birthday cake. So I go up to the lady and I say, excuse me, it's my cake. And then had the nerve to take my baby's name off her cake. Took my baby's name off her cake. That probably supposed to be for her with y'all thieving broke ass. I can't stand. Stole my baby's birthday cake.
So now
all these people right here.
She's putting them on camera. I want you to take a look at how these people look, right? How many people are in her party? The woman who came there for the granddaughter's birthday. How many people are in the other person's party? It's like we have to take the time to analyze how much of a confrontation is worth it. The question in the title of this video is, how long do you argue with her, right? How long do you argue with these people, right? How involved do you get with these people in this scenario, right? So look
at them. I guess they're just fat, just nasty. They try to steal my baby's birthday cake like it wasn't sentimental. I told y'all I was gonna let y'all see him. Let y'all see. I can't believe it. You just can't. I didn't know people stole birthday cake.
So this is the woman, right? This is her. How long do you involve yourself with this woman in this scenario? I understand you got to say something. You got the cake back, right? Where is this leading to? Where is this conversation leading to? It's obviously leading to a physical altercation, right? It's leading to a physical altercation ultimately. How much longer do you continue to engage yourself in this situation before it leads to a physical altercation? Is she outnumbered? Is it worth fist fighting at a place, right? If you're in an establishment where a person is stealing from other customers, what do you do in this situation, right? Do you talk to a manager at the place? Do you call the police? Do you have management take these people out of the place? How do you handle this where you're not entangled in a brouhaha with a person who you can see has less to lose than you do? Let's finish watching this for the second time.
And don't even say apologize. They don't say nothing. They just stole somebody.
You waiting for an apology from people who are dressed in public like this? Here's another person in her party, and she's the most fashionable of them. And look at how she's dressed.
Birthday cake. It's looking nasty, broken.
What? She got on. Look at. She looked like something. The clothing from The Walking Dead. Her pants are ripped to shreds. You have to think about the mentality of a person who is walking around like this. The mentality of a person who is walking around like that, right? How long do you entangle yourself in this scenario with these people? Because look, further.
Okay. So did. Yep, that's them. Cake stealers. Happy birthday to y'all. You can't stop me from doing shit. You can't stop.
So now curse words are flying back and forth. The people are like, stop filming us or whatever, because now she's using profanity. She's like, y'all can't stop me from doing. Okay. So now you are engaged in a, you gonna stop me if you can sort of thing, right? Somebody said I would not take that cake back.
Stop me from doing shit. They stop me from doing shit. Like I said.
Now they're calling each other B words.
Like I said, hoe. Like I said, just know. And you stole it. You right. You sure did. You sure did. I know. I know. I know. I know. It's good. What you gonna do? Who you looking at? Me?
All right. So we watched that 2 times, right? We watched that 2 times. I want to show you something that I thought was relevant to the conversation. And then we're going to talk about the lessons and we're going to get out of here. Here. All right. I want you all to see this. This is a comment that I received last night, right? A woman by the name of Christina Monica says, so y'all still blaming her? This is on yesterday's video where we were talking about taking ownership of your actions, right? And I want to state this for the record. My videos are never about the people in the videos. I'm doing these videos for you to pick up on the self-love lessons for yourself, right? For you to pick up on the self-love lessons for yourself. It's never about the people because we're not in those scenarios and you will never be in an exact scenario like that. But while we're giving lessons, while we're learning, because if we're not learning, what are we doing? I just want you all to know that, remember I told you all that I'm interested in neuroscience and that I want to study neuroscience and become as educated as I can. I've been learning some things about the brain, right? And if you think that the powers that be and the people who run these countries and these companies don't understand psychology, neuroscience, and how your brain naturally works, then you are sadly mistaken. Let me explain to you what is happening to you and your brain right now. You are in a constant stimulation loop where your dopamine receptors are being oversaturated, and then you find yourself on lows and lulls when you're not constantly receiving information, right? You will find yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, looking for that next hit, right? Unlike many people from the 80s when crack was an epidemic, except these handheld devices are more addictive than crack, and we can't get rid of them. We can't get off of them. And if you try to stay away from your phone for 3 to 4 days, you will become depressed. You will start going through withdrawal. You'll start wondering what's going on. So you'll find yourself scrolling and scrolling, looking for those dopamine hits. You want the dopamine hit fast. You want it quick. You want it potent. You want all of the information quickly. And then you want to move on to the next high, the next stimulation. Books, information that makes you think, these things sedate you. These things require brain energy. My videos require brain energy. This is not the quick dopamine hit. When you're looking at these constant videos, these constant news cycles, what you're getting is you're getting this rush of information. You're getting this rush hitting into your receptors that makes you look for the next high. But when all is said and done, how is your life different? Many of us spend so much time scrolling. By the time the end of the day comes, listen, hours have gone. If you look at go put your usage, your hours of usage into your phone, and you will see how much time you are actually spending scrolling. The day comes and goes. Your dreams are not being pursued. You're not doing the things that you need to do to get into a new job. Your relationship is running stagnant and rancid. Your body's not in better shape because you're spending all this time sitting down. Now your eyes are deteriorating. How is your life better? The difference between my channel and other channels that discuss these viral topics is that if you go in looking for that quick dopamine hit of these viral topics and you don't use your brain power to analyze exactly what it is that we're seeing, you get caught into a loop, right? You have to break this cycle. I want to show you this comment, right? This woman says, so y'all still blaming her. I can't wait till y'all are gone so we can experience real freedom. Woman, you can leave my page. Why do you have to wait for me to be gone? Why do you have to wish death upon me? For what? And I can guarantee you With that type of attitude, honey, you won't find freedom. And there are parts of you that are already dead right now. You're waiting for freedom and you're dying right now. You're waiting for other people to die and you're dying. Wishing death on people for what? My videos are not about just running around with the status quo and then just saying what everybody else is saying without the lessons that help you fix your life. Take the time to think. In that Carlicia situation, we don't know the ins and outs of what happened. But what we can talk about is we can talk about us and how we navigate and how we move. Blaming the victim, I'm going to show you what I wrote back to her, right? And then somebody named Whitney Lawrence comes out and says, that's what she always does. Some way, somehow, she will find a way to blame the victim, then plays victim herself when people disagree with her opinion. Some way, somehow, that's what she always does. If you are saying that somebody does something on their channel always and you're not enjoying it, why are you there? Believe it or not, there are people who understand what this channel is about. There are no victims. Well, let me rephrase that, because there are people who are victimized, right? But there are ways that you can stop yourself from continuing to be the victim. The difference between blame and accountability is, what are the lessons that you are getting to empower yourself? Blame, when you blame yourself, there is no lesson, there is no growth, there's just bad feeling, there's just blame. When you take accountability, you say, listen, I know that this happened to me, and I know that this could not be controlled under those circumstances. Everything happened as it was supposed to. However, what are the lessons that I can glean from this so that I can shift so that this is not a perpetuation, a perpetual cycle that continues on? Yes. I will always on my channel ask you to look at yourself. I will always on my channel defer to not what the other person is doing, but you. What can you do differently? It's not about blaming the victim. It's about you realizing how things can be done differently, even in the worst of scenarios. Capital R word, right? If we can look for the ways that we can empower ourselves so that we are not in situations like that again, so that we advocate for ourselves, open our mouths, so that we participate in different actions, so that we have apps on our phone to be able to alert the police, so that we have protection on ourselves to be able to pow a person, that we have pepper spray, that we have the ability to know to run, to not fight, flight, freeze, to do things differently. That's the difference between blame and accountability. When you blame, you are disempowered. When you take accountability, you are empowered. And it's up to you. It's up to you to figure out the lessons that your life is telling you. And you know what? Listen, even as a child, so capital R word, one of the worst things that can happen to a person. Even if you look at, because many of us out there were harmed as children, right? I would say harming a child is one of the worst things anybody on this earth can do, because children come into this world innocent. If you were a child who was harmed, my heart and my spirit goes out to you. What are the lessons for growth in your life that you can glean from even capital M word happening to a child? Well, lowercase m word, because capital M word is, I'm sad that this is how we have to have conversations nowadays online. This is ridiculous, right? What I gathered from my situation that happened to me as a child, right, is a theme that had continued to come up in my life. That in 2014, I took the time to, or 2012, I took the time to look and analyze this theme that showed itself over and over again. And I realized that one of the lessons showing up over and over again in my life is one, learning how to move on without closure, learning how to find healing for myself without closure, without ever getting an apology, an acknowledgement, any justice on the other end. How do I continue to move forward, up and onward in my life without those things? This was a theme that continued to circulate over and over in my life. What are the themes in your life? Yes, bad things happen. Bad things happen to you. Bad things happen to me. What are the lessons that we're going to glean that are going to make our lives better, not worse? Right? So let's continue forward. So here. So I wrote back, I said, blame or accountability for our actions supporting self-love. And I say, okay, so go out there arguing with strangers with less to lose than you do. Listen, if you know yourself and you love yourself and you know that you have things to live for, you know that you're moving onward and upward, you know that you got big things planned for your life. Because I don't know how many of you out there have children. Your children will be in school with people whose parents are teaching them a lot different things than what you're teaching your children. What do you tell your child about why they need not go down those routes? You know what you're investing in your child. You know the plans that you have for your child. You know where it is that your child, the potential that your child has, and romping and rolling around with some of these people who are not children, who unfortunately, because of this, the cards that are stacked against them, you know that the chances are for them going where you know your child can go and where they're going are different places. Around here, we have to explain to the children, listen, we invest in you. I don't know what her mother is investing in her. I know where you can go. And I know that while you are rolling around with this young lady, that your trajectory is being stumped by her. You need to have the same feeling for yourself that you have for your child. Where is it that you can go? But for arguing with people who are headed where? Where is that woman with the big belly hanging out? Where is she going in her life? She's a grown woman. Her belly's hanging out. She's stealing cakes. Where is she going in her life? Is it worth a confrontation and a physical fight with her? Over what? For someone, listen, over what? To be engaged in this, for someone to take a razor out their mouth and give you $1.50. For you now to be getting engaged in this effery. Now you getting arrested. For them to figure out what is what. Now you got to go to court. Now you bit up, your hair pulled out. Now you got a dislocated shoulder, broken tooth, a twisted jaw, blackened eye. Now you got to go get tetanus shots from being bit by one of these people. All for what? Don't let these people drag you down into the mire. Don't let these people drag you down into heading on the path with them. How many of us seen those movies where the person was just about to get out of the hood? I remember I was traumatized when I was a little girl and I saw Boys in the Hood. How many of you are old enough to have seen Boys in the Hood? That was the name of the movie, right? I was traumatized when I saw that because I'm here watching a movie and watching how things go on. And then all I remember is as the boy was getting ready to get out of the hood, shots rang out from a person in a drive-by. I was traumatized. I was traumatized by good times. I was traumatized by all these stories telling the same thing. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you can't get out. Don't let these people lie to you and program you into staying in an existence that you can rise above. Listen, we are trapped in these loops right now. You have to do something. First of all, in order to be aware, in order to know that there's a program, you have to be aware of the program. If you can see the program, if you can see on the outside of the program, you can do something about it. Joanna says, I watched that in the movies. I am that old. Listen, break the cycle. Yes, this woman deserves to be cursed out. Yes, she deserves to be arrested. Yes, she deserves all of that. What is it that you can do to keep yourself removed? Keep yourself removed so that you can stay on your tower. Stay lifted while you do from a distance what it is that you need to do to make sure that she is kicked out of the place, that she is arrested if possible, but not there with the all of that. Now you arguing in front of your grandbaby. Now you getting punched up depending on how old your grandbaby is. Now your grandbaby is watching you get punched up and pummeled and you out there fighting. Maybe your grandbaby might get stepped on. I remember I met a woman. She was working customer service and I encourage you when you come across people who are exhibiting some strange, lethargic, or poor customer service, I encourage you to just ask them, are you all right? Are you okay? But not ask it in a nasty way, but ask in a really concerned way. You will find out a lot. A lot of people out there going through a lot of different things. I was getting some lackluster customer service from a woman at a counter. This was many years ago. And I asked her how she was doing. And she told me that her 14-year-old son was in a fight after school where another person picked up her son and power drived him into the ground on his head. Her son suffered several spinal fractures for which now at the age of 14 he could no longer walk. And so now this mother went from living a regular life to now having to figure out full-time care for her 14-year-old son, because I learned that day that there's paraplegic and there's quadriplegic. Her son was quadriplegic, where now the peristalsis on his throat didn't even work well. So he needed assistance even eating. She went from having a perfectly healthy 14-year-old boy to now having to figure out how to get full-time care for him on a customer service salary. You have to think. You have to think. Worst case scenario, is it worth it getting into this altercation? Like I said, fighting near your grandbaby could get stepped on. What will happen to your grandbaby's spine? Will your grandbaby be able to walk away from it? Best case scenario, all is good. But worst case scenario, is it worth it? For some people who you can see are not really heading in the same direction you're heading in, stealing a cake. I said all that I needed to say. And listen, at the age of 14, you don't know what's worth it or what's not worth it. He probably thought that he would just be in a regular fight. And that changed everything that day. That changed everything. And the thing about it is, when these tragedies happen in our lives, there's no warning. There's no leading up to it. There's no preparation. You're thrust into situations that now you got to deal with. You got to deal with the physical therapy, the recovery. You got to deal with the trauma, the mental therapy. You got to deal with all of this stuff. Over what? I want you to have enough self-love for yourself and the trajectory of your life. Trajectory is where a thing is going, the path where it's going. That's the trajectory. Where's the path of your life going? And so there are going to be some people who walk away from my videos thinking that I was blaming that woman in the store. And I am not. Some people get it. If you get what I'm saying, put up the number 1, right? If you get what I'm saying, put up the number 1. We're going to check apples. We're going to go on a quick break. Then we're going to go on a quick break. Then we're going to check the apples, and then we're going to come back with the self-love lesson. So I want you to really think within yourself. Here is the structure that I want for the self-love lesson. I want you to type SLL for self-love lesson. And then I want you to use an I statement. I, XYZ. What did you learn from this video? Okay, so here, these are the people who know what it is that I'm saying. If you don't know what I'm saying, if you don't understand, put up a 0. Put up a 0 if you don't understand. If this is your first time here, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so that you can find it again, because you can't count on the algorithm. Join the text notification squad so that you can get a text whenever I go live. The text goes out 5 minutes, within 5 minutes of me going live. And you will, if you're awake, because like now it's 7:30 in the morning. And so whether you're awake or asleep or whatever, you always get the link right in your phone. You also get invited to a private Telegram group for Text Notification Squad behind the scenes. And so this is the way to join the Text Notification Squad: www.tonyatko.com/TEXT text. All right, there we go. Let's jump into a quick break, and then we'll be back to read the apples after that. On the screen, you're going to see some QR codes, and that is a way that you can support the broadcast. If you've gained anything from this video, if this video touched you, if you'd like to see more content like this, support the content that supports you. You can send it via Cash App, PayPal, or a debit credit card on my website. If you send it one of those ways and you send a note and you want me to read it, you have to let me know. If you send it, Cash App comes up on the screen, but PayPal and the credit card, you have to let me know. Okay, so here we go. All right, we are back. And so I see you all are typing the self-love lessons now. I'm gonna put them on the screen in a moment. Let me read the apples real quick. So we got one apple in from J. Ebony, who sends 222 and says, shame and audacity are both at an all-time low. And she put a pin in that. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get those self-love lessons on the screen, and then we're going to jump out of here. Pretty says, this is why I avoid being anywhere where there are a lot of Black people. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. That's sad. Oh, here. Let's read some of these. Come on, type these self-love lessons. I want to see them. Be careful of the energy. I propel. Know when to walk away and when to run away. So I want these to be I statements. I want I statements. Kaylee says, I will not confront people who have less to lose than I do. Yes, come on, let's see these self-love lessons. Type them on the screen, SLL, and let's see the self-love lesson. I have to engage in battles that are worth it and walk away from those that are not. Absolutely. Absolutely. Self-love lesson. I need to be more patient and calm when I'm in a situation. Being embarrassed is not the worst thing that can happen to me. I don't always need to defend myself. You know, and I guess it depends on how you're defending yourself, in what situation, what type of relationship. Is this an ongoing relationship? Is this person a stranger? So yes, I am an advocate for advocating for yourself, for speaking up. When you're dealing with strangers, people you don't know, people whose mental state you don't know, people who you don't have an ongoing relationship with, for which this conversation is not an investment in that relationship. I think that these are all factors that need to be discussed. So I definitely want us to defend ourselves. I want us to assess the situations in which we're defending ourselves and analyze whether or not it is worth defending. Some people have people in their family. It's not even worth getting into arguments with them, because at the end of the day, you're going to be producing all of these toxic chemicals inside of your body that are going to be deteriorating to your being. Over what? I will stop letting negative people trouble my spirit. Absolutely. I feel you on that. I feel you. I will not judge myself as I believe others in my family are. I will take care of myself more. Yes, yes. I will always stay calm no matter the situation. I get practice every day as a behavioral health nurse. I want us to be careful with absolutes like never and always, because you have to give yourself some grace. You know what I mean? Do the very, very best that you can. Make an effort, because one is better than zero. One baby step is better than no step. So let's forgive ourselves and be gracious with ourselves in terms of how we're approaching our standard. Because there will be times that, I lose my temper sometimes on the phone with people, even after my healing journey. You know, however, I dust myself off and I try again the next time. I can walk away. It's okay for me to walk away. Most times it's okay for me to say okay and walk away. Yes, yes. I will not let negative emotions overpower me, causing me to lash out on others or stoop to their level. I choose what battles to fight. Yes, I love these. I love these. And you know what? You can type your self-love lessons after we get off. You can also send apples after I'm off. I see I got one more from Kimberly, who sends $5 and says, not arguing with unstable people. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Listen, I'm going to get out to my garden. I'm going to tell you all, gardening has changed my life. If you have not gardened or farmed, you don't know the healing that exists. Also, the mental, I don't know, something shifted in me recently since I've started gardening. Taking care of these seedlings, sprouting them and having them bring forth life, and then being in this relationship with the plants, being in this relationship where I take food scraps and turn them into compost. I turn these boxes from Amazon and these delivery boxes into compost. And then that compost feeds the worms, which give me the worm casting. And then the compost is rich in nutrients to be able to feed next year's plants. Because I have mulch down, so I'm not going to be able to turn the compost into the whatchamacallit this year, but when we go to plant next year, I'm going to use this compost. So I'm getting a nice big batch. Even urea. If you all know what urea is, that first morning, I'm not using any medications or anything. And so I use my urea first thing in the morning when there's a lot of it, and I put that all into the compost heap. Urea is high in nitrates, which help produce big healthy fruit and big nice potatoes, because these fruits, they need us. These potatoes, they're heavy feeders. These pumpkins, they need a lot of nutrients to provide nutrients for us. And it's the cycle of life. Taking care of the garden on the outside has had me reevaluate different ways to improve and take care of the house on the inside. And it's just, oh, you all want some pics? You know what? Come to my Instagram. I'll put up a picture. Come to Instagram today. I'll put up a picture. This year, I told you all I was going to tell you what I was growing. So I'll tell you. Right now, I have planted jalapenos, bell peppers. I'm trying to sprout watermelon seeds, but the watermelon seeds have not come up yet. But I'm waiting for them to come out of the ground. I'm going to be growing watermelon in the city, so on concrete. I've learned that you can use crates for the vines to run across. I also have squash. We're growing squash, snow peas, and tomatoes. Tomatoes are our biggest crop this year, so we're going to have a lot of tomatoes. I'm going to stew them, make them into paste, jar them, eat them fresh. There's going to be a lot of tomatoes this year. What else do we have? I am doing potatoes. I'm doing russet potatoes, white potatoes. I'm trying to get the slips from the sweet potatoes, but my sweet potato is not producing slips yet. I hope that it does, but it hasn't yet. I also have some carrot seeds and some broccoli, like a little broccolini seed. It's broccoli with little shrubs on the top. I did not know that there were so many different variations of plants. Like you think about, oh, I'm also doing garlic. I'm doing California garlic, which I'm hoping I can get out of the ground. But if not, I'm doing the hardneck garlic, which sleeps in the winter and then sprouts in the spring. I'm also doing scallion, right? Tomato powder. How do you make? You're gonna have to tomato powder. You're gonna have to contact me and let me know how that is done. So I'm also considering creating a raised bed because I'm kind of running out of space. And so I've been looking at different YouTube videos. I'm not using pallet wood because pallet wood is cheap and is often sprayed with chemicals. So I'll probably be getting pressure treated wood. So I'm gardening. It's so amazing. I want to grow corn, but I'm afraid. I heard that corn needs a lot of space. So I'm afraid to do corn. Watermelon plants, they do take a long time to sprout. Okay, thank you for letting me know that. Thank you for letting me know that. Oh, Linda, look at that beautiful avatar. That's so lovely. I really love that. Oh, well, I have them in dirt. I have them in dirt trying to sprout them. I want to see how many of these are going to sprout so I know how many I'm going to have running cuz I want to do 3 watermelon plants so I put about 6 seeds in there. So I'm hoping that I can get from the 6 at least 3. Baby corn, you know what? I'm going to look into corn. Oh, you know what? We're also growing mint, but mint is a weed that grows every year, right? So I appreciate you all coming out. I will send you all some pictures. I started late because I spent 2 months away this year. So in April and May, and then I came back in June. And so I didn't get my seeds in the ground in May. So I'm just now starting, which is a little late in the year. Does corn attract pests? Okay, well, I heard cabbage attracts pests too, but I heard that you can plant companion plants for cabbage to be able to ward off the pests. But yeah, so we're growing this squash, and this squash is I'm running it up a trellis, right? Your friend has a garlic farm. I would love some pointers from a garlic grower because I'm a little concerned about my garlic. So the squash is growing up the trellis and it's about almost as tall as I am now. And so I'm going to have to run the trellis over the gate and just do like a V, like a triangle trellis and have it come down the other side. We also have some squash inside the in the garden. But I don't know what type of squash it is. I don't know if it's the delicata or the what's the one that's shaped like a little bell on the bottom? It goes down and it's it's like a pale orange color and it's here in that butternut. That's what it's called, butternut. Because I eat butternut and I had some delicata and I had a hard time gardening last year, so I used to freeze my stuff that was kind of going bad. I would freeze them so that I could then put them in the garden or in the compost, right? So that the fibers could be very soft. Because when you freeze and then you unfreeze, the fibers are very soft. So I put it in the compost right before I went away, and when I came back, it was growing. It was like already a big bush of those big leaves. And because it's compost, it's taking so much nutrients. So these leaves are gigantic. We got our first female flower that has come out. We've had a lot of male flowers. And so we got our first female flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bath for bees to attract bees to the garden and so that they can get water and be able to I want to make the garden attractive to bees because we need bees to pollinate and to fertilize our fruits and flowers, right? So yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Listen, Home Depot has a sale right now on power washers, 1800 PS something PSU or PSA for $99. So if you need a power washer, Home Depot has a sale on it right now for the 4th of July. I got me a power washer. So I'm going to go out there and power wash the whole backyard concrete to just get everything nice and clean. And I'm going to build my trellis because I got this trellis, but it's soft. And so I need to put it up on some hard stakes. And so that's what I'm going to be working on today. And I got recognized at the Home Depot yesterday. Typically, when people come to me and they ask me if I'm Tonya TKO out in the street, I just say, I'm like, who? Right? And then I just go about my business, right? But this girl, I was talking, asking for something, and she turned around and she was like, Tonya TKO. And she was like, I recognized your voice. And I was like, I didn't realize my voice was that recognizable, but yes. And then I was I don't want to say I was embarrassed, but because I was dressed in my gardening clothes. I was hot, sweaty, a mess. It was crazy. It was crazy. Plant flowering plants will attract bees. Well, I hope the bees do come to pollinate the female flower, but we're going to tell what type of squash it is soon, because we got our first female flower. So I see the little thing growing. It's a little grape-sized thing growing on the back of the flower. And I feel excited because I'm like, I don't know what it is. Is it the butternut or is it the delicata? You know, so I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to see which one it is because I eat both of them. So I had the seeds for both of them, and so I don't know which ones took it upon themselves to choose life, right? Oh, you know what? We are going to be growing flowers this year. We're growing zinnias. I got some giant, the giantatas, I don't think giantatas is the word, but giantess or whatever they are, the giant zinnias. But the only thing is that they need 9 to 12 inches between them. And on the package, it says deadhead them. And I'm like, what is deadheading? I'm like, oh my gosh. So it says that I need to deadhead the flowers in order to encourage a stronger stalk. So marigolds are your best garden pest hate marigolds? Say less. Say less. We're going to be growing marigolds then. We're going to be growing marigolds. So rosemary, lavender, sage, and thyme. Oh, determined. Do you have to put seeds down every year for the zinnias, or do you have to, or do they grow back each year? So I'm supposed to kill the flower head when it comes out? Oh my gosh. All right. Oh, okay, okay. So you know what? I need to grow. Deadhead is in the airline industry. Oh my goodness. I need to create um I need to create a raised bed. I need to create a raised bed, but I need to create a strong one. Um so I don't understand what that means. Annual. Does annual mean you have to plant it? Because it says that on the package, and I'm like, what is the difference between perennial? I don't even perennial, perennial. What is the difference between annual and perennial? Ah, goodness. All right. Listen, the sun is starting to come up, so I want to get out there and power wash this yard and get my trellis built. And I got a new thing for the fence, some FRP board, but it's really flimsy, so I don't even know. I don't even know. Clove and mint repels pests also. Mint grows fairly easily. Yes, we have mint that okay, okay, okay. All right. Perennial comes back every year. Annual dies off after season. Okay, so lavender. Okay, well, you know what? The thing is, I don't have unlimited space. I'm already going to have to grow or do a raised bed. But nonetheless, listen, we've been on for an hour. So I will see you all in the next video, and find something that you're passionate about. I had no idea I would be passionate about gardening. I had no idea because it took me a while to get into gardening, because my father would typically be the one that tends the garden. But this year I just been on something different. I think it's because, and I'm going to be really honest with you all, it's because I'm in better shape. Bending over used to be difficult. Squatting used to be very difficult. And so it made everything more difficult. Also, uneven soil. So you can fall over, if you don't have your footing, everything is difficult. Pulling up weeds was difficult. But this year, being in better shape, life is easier in better shape. Life is more enjoyable in better shape, right? So yeah, so listen, I love you all. I will see you all in a video. I'm going to try to work on doing more videos, because I feel that it's important. I feel it's important for us to talk about these lessons, especially now what it is that I've learned about the brain and how we're in this dopamine loop, this stimulation loop, and how we need to think, and that most of us are not. Most of us are not reading. Most of us are not philosophizing and really using our brains anymore. We're looking at these stupid stories that are not making our lives better and consuming content that is keeping us stuck. I think it's important for me to continue to make videos. So I will see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself, the self-love lesson that I learned from today's video is this, right? In the same way that, because somebody posted a comment on the screen when I was reading this comment, right? In the same way that I'm asking of you all to pick your battles with these people in real life, my self-love lesson is that I have to take these comments with a grain of salt and realize that some of these people commenting are the big belly Berthas stealing cakes. Some of these people commenting is Granny, gangster Granny, arguing with her. Some of these people commenting, they're commenting because this is their life. I'm talking about their life. They don't want to make a change. And I need to take that same philosophy that I'm teaching to you all and realize that with some of these comments that I just got to let people go. Let them go, let them be. What song is that? Let them go, let them be. It's some song by a guy. Oh, Jadena. It's by Jadena. It's I forget the name of the song, but that's one of the lyrics in it. But nonetheless, that's what this is my self-love lesson from here. That I got to protect my energy online, that I cannot allow myself to become frustrated by people that don't want the lesson. I can't allow myself to become frustrated by all of these channels talking about stupid stories. I can't allow myself to get caught in these loops of dopamine with this constant scrolling. That I have to protect my neurological pathways, and I have to continue to make videos to help you all because the chips are stacked against us. I'm gonna check the apples before we head out of here. And like I said, you can always send apples after I'm off. So I will see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO, and I am out. Peace. Remember, come to Instagram to see my photos. I'm going to show you all my squash later because it's so, oh my gosh, when you see these leaves, oh my goodness, you're going to be like, squash grew like that on compost? These leaves, I'm telling you, one leaf is about this big. I don't know if that's normal because this is my first time growing squash and growing it unintentionally at that, but the leaf is like this big. I'm like, oh, wow. So I'm training it. There's so many lessons to life in gardening. I'm training it to go up the trellis. So let's do that. I will see you all later. Peace.